All right, this is the second part of your 8-6 notes. This is just covering the law of cosines. So it says another relationship between the sides and angles of any triangle is called the law of cosines. You're going to use the law of cosines if you have two sides in the included angle. Okay, this is really, really important. It has to be included, all right, or all three sides. So here is your formula for the law of cosines. And don't cry whenever you see it, okay? I'm going to try to help break it down. You have c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of angle C. Now, I'm going to write underneath here like a little bit smaller. Okay, let's say you're trying to find the length of side A. What you'll do is you just flip-flop your letters. So instead of A, I'm going to put C plus b squared minus 2. Instead of A, I'm going to put C, B cosine. Instead of C, it's angle A. And let's say we're trying to find B. I'll do B on top. Let me get a different color. We'll do B. So if you're doing B squared, okay, these letters are going to be, like you can't include B. So I can use A and I can use C. So it'll be minus 2AC. And then it'll be cosine of whatever side you're trying to find. So that's B. Okay, so those are the only three options you have to choose from. The main one that you'll see like on your formula chart has the C, but I wanted you to see how you can flip-flop the letters and your angle so that you can find the other missing sides. So here's the first one. It says find C and round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of work on here that we have to do. So it's going to take some time, and I got to do the calculator stuff with this. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is because I'm finding C, I'm going to write down my formula. I'll do pink. Okay, I'm going to write down my formula with C. That's the best thing for you to do. So I'm going to write C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of angle C. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label what I know. Across from this angle A is side A. Across from angle B is B. I don't know what C is, okay, and I know that angle C here is 48 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and plug in everything that I just said. So C squared is equal to, A was 12, so there's 12 squared, plus B is 10, so there's 10 squared, minus 2 times A was 12, B was 10, and then we have cosine of angle C. Angle C is 48 degrees. All right, so here we go. C squared is equal to 12 squared is 144, 10 squared is 100, okay? 2 times 12 times 10, 12 times 10, or 2 times 12 is 240, 240 times 10, that's 240, and then we have cosine of 48 degrees. So we have C squared is equal to, now I'm going to combine these right here, 144 plus 100 is 244, minus 240, cosine of 48 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and type this into my calculator. So you have 244 minus 240 cosine of 48. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode. Okay, minus. So you get 83.408, blah, 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 blah. Okay, all these numbers. Don't round, because if you round right now, you're not going to get the accurate answer for our final answer. Hit second square root, second answer, because then it's going to have all those decimals included. And you should get C is equal to, when I round this to the nearest tenth, I get 9.1. Right? Next one. So here we had to find the measure of angle A. So I'm looking at the measure of angle A. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the formula. Okay, so my formula for this, let me see if I can zoom in. My formula for this one is going to be A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of angle A. Okay, so looking at my picture, zoom out a little bit. Look at my picture, I'm going to label what I know. So across from angle A is 7, so there's A. Across from B is 5, so there's B. Across from angle C is 8, so there's C. So I'm going to plug in what I know. So A is 7, so there's 7 squared. B is 8, no, B is 5, so there's 5 squared. C is 8, so there's 8 squared, minus 2 times BC, so 5 and 8, cosine of A, and A, I don't know that, so I'm going to leave it as A. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and try to reduce this. So we have 7 squared is 49. I have 5 squared is 25. 8 squared is 64. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 8 is 80. And we have cosine A. Okay, so now we have 49 is equal to, we have 25 plus 64. So 25 plus 64 will give you 89 minus 80 cosine A. Alright, so now I need to subtract 49 minus 89. When you do that, you get negative 40. So negative 40 is equal to negative 80 cosine A. Now you're going to want to divide both sides by this negative 80. So that crosses out. So negative 40, I have the wrong color, negative 40 divided by negative 80 would just give you 0.5. It's equal to cosine A. Okay, and you're trying to find the measure of angle A. So whenever you do this, you have to do your inverse. So the measure of angle A is equal to the inverse of cosine of 0.5. So when you do that, the measure of angle A, see what that comes out to, second cosine 0.5 gives you 60 degrees. It's a lot of work on these problems, just letting y'all know. Okay, so we have 2 more problems that we have to do, and then we are done. It says find x, round angle measures to the nearest degree, and side measures to the nearest tenth. And both of these, we are trying to find a side, so we're rounding to the nearest tenth. Okay, so we're going to start with number 1. Number 1, let me go ahead and identify what I know. So what I know is I know angle A. So since I know angle A, I already know what formula I want to use. I want to use A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of angle A. Now let me label what I know from my picture. So since I know that's angle A, I know this is little a. Since this is across from angle B, that's little b. Since this is across from angle C, that's little c. So I can go ahead and plug this stuff into my formula. So I have, I'm going to call this x instead of a. So x squared is equal to 14 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 14 times 12 cosine of 62 degrees. Okay, so now we have x squared is equal to 14 squared plus 12 squared would give me 340 minus 2 times 14 times 12 gives me 336. And I have the cosine of 62 degrees. And I'm just going to leave that in there for right now. Okay, so I'm going to type all this stuff into my calculator. 340 minus 336 cosine of 62 degrees. You'll get 182.257 and a lot of other numbers, okay? Don't round here. You don't want to round to the very end. Now we're going to take the square root of both sides. So hit second square root, second answer. When you hit enter, you get 13.500, rounding to the nearest tenth, so that's 13.5. There are no units on my triangle, so my answer will have no units. Okay, number 2 is the last one that we're going to do. So number 2, first thing that I see here is that, again, I have angle A. So I already know my formula. A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of angle A. And so now I can go ahead and plug in what I know. Well, I gotta make sure I have my sides. So this is gonna be A. Okay, angle B, so this is gonna be B, and angle C, so this is gonna be this is gonna be length for C. Alright, so let's plug in what I know. So this is x, so x squared is equal to B is 18, so 18 squared plus C is 28, so 28 squared minus 2 times 18 times 28 cosine of 59 degrees. So we have x squared is equal to 18 squared plus 28 squared will give me 1,108 minus 2 times 18 times 28 gives me 1,008. We have cosine of 59 degrees. And so I can put all of this in my calculator. So we have 1108 minus 1008 cosine of 59. And that gives me 588.841 and a lot of other decimals. Okay, don't round just yet. You're going to take the square root. So square root of second answer gives me 24.266. So 24 point, I can round that to 3. So 24.3. I don't have units, so that would be my final answer. And yeah, that's it. All right, so those are your notes over the law of cosine.